What's up, YouTube? You're Inside the Edge, and I'm back with another video. I'm here to report some news about Baker Mayfield and his left labrum injury that he suffered, I believe, in week 2. A lot of reports are saying this was an injury he's been dealing with throughout the entire season. So I want to talk about Baker Mayfield, but then I also want to talk about the Cleveland Browns as a whole and what's the future looking like for them. So the Cleveland Browns is going to be the topic of the day. I got more topics for you guys. I got more videos for you guys. But today we're going to talk about Baker Mayfield. Now, a lot of people, they understand that Baker Mayfield is a guy that at this point in his career, we understand, he's not an elite quarterback, but he's above average. He's a good quarterback. He's a guy that's in between. And for this Cleveland team, I don't think that is enough to get over the hump. We're seeing how the Bengals are on the come up this season. With the Ravens, even though they had a downfall season, as of right now, they're 8-8, but that's because of, Lamar Jackson not being around, and it haunted this team, but it has nothing to do with, the destruction of this team. Like, I still think the Ravens next year will have a better year. And then, obviously mentioning, the Bengals, you got to look at Joe Burrow. This guy's on the come up, and we could already say he's better than Baker Mayfield. I think we could all agree on that. So Baker Mayfield, I think he's in trouble. And as of right now, like I mentioned, Baker Mayfield, he has to go he's going under surgery as of right now. So he's not going to play the last game of the season. And I believe they play the Bengals. So, the Browns, they're probably going to end their season 7-10. They're last in their division. So, with Baker Mayfield, throughout the injuries and stuff, he's been banged up. If you look at this year, if you look at his numbers, he hasn't had, we haven't really seen much progression. This is just another average year for him. He just thrown for over 3,000 yards. He threw 17 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, a QBR rating of 83.1. And he completed 60% of his passes. So, I guess that's somewhat good, but overall this season, Baker Mayfield hasn't shown us that he can progress and be this superstar talent, or at least be the guy he was last year for this Cleveland team in the playoffs. But I think it's time for the Browns to move on from Baker Mayfield. I know a lot of people are talking about, this year's draft, on how a lot of available quarterbacks are not going to be as good, or, we're not seeing any future greats or Hall of Fame quarterback in this year's draft. So it's going to be really, really challenging for not only the Cleveland Browns, but for other teams that's looking for their franchise quarterback moving forward. So that's why it's going to be a lot of talks, man. There's a lot of guys in free agency, maybe some number 2 options on other teams can, maybe the Browns can look at. Deshaun Watson is a huge, this is a guy was a huge story in the beginning of the season. And it just seems like Deshaun Watson, there's there's a lot of, hush stuff going on underneath with Deshaun Watson. We haven't really heard anything from the Texans of trading him. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the Texans do with Deshaun Watson. But that's just one guy that I'm kind of throwing out there. But, with the Browns, they have to do something. I think this organization made a mistake in 2018 when they drafted Baker Mayfield. There was, Josh Allen that was available, Sam Darnold. Even though Sam Darnold, he's kind of having a disappointing career as of right now. But, you had Josh Allen, Josh Rosen. I'm trying to think off the top of my head of other quarterbacks that was drafted. But, the Browns definitely dropped the ball. And I think, the Browns have to move forward with they have to move forward with Baker Mayfield, because Baker Mayfield is not going to get this team over the hump. And this Cleveland Brown organization should rather try to fix the problem that they made and try to revamp this team moving forward. Do it now than do it later, because even with Baker Mayfield being healthy, I still think that we're going to probably see the same results next year. This year, there's nothing eye-popping that this Browns team has done. Again, I like their run game. I like their backs. But when you look at receivers as well, there's not a whole lot of talent. Jarvis Landry's there. Rashad Higgins is there. And as far as tight ends, Austin Hooper, that was a very good pickup. This Browns team, they had some pieces before this season that was really, really good. But it just seems like Baker Mayfield, he just cannot live up to the expectations. Health is a huge concern because of his height and his stature. He doesn't have a lot of upside. So when he does scramble in the pocket, his mobility, you can just see that, it's really easy to tackle this guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not very fast, and I think the Browns are starting to see that. Now, again, this Browns team was a playoff contention team. Last year, they were the top of their division. I don't think they were number one. I think the Steelers were number one. But, last year, Baker Mayfield, he played good throughout the playoffs. Really good performance against the Steelers. I believe the Browns put up 45 points on the Steelers, beat them at home. Then they end up playing Kansas City. They lose 22-17, but it was still a hard-fought game by Baker Mayfield. And, there was just a whole lot of expectations, and all you can do is win. And for them to be forget about not making the playoffs, for them to be the, fourth in their division, that's a red flag, because of the Bengals on the come up. And, with the Ravens, I still think the Ravens are going to, still be a top tier team in the future as long as Lamar Jackson is there. I think this Browns team is going to be in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So, when you really do put things into perspective with this Browns team, they had a whole lot going for them. They had a lot of pieces and stuff. But, let's see, man. Stefanski, I want to hear your guys' opinion on him. Do you think that the Browns should go after another coach? Because it seems like he's in the hot seat right now. But I think a lot of changes needs to be made with this Browns team, because when we're looking, at least for next year, the Bengals is probably the hottest team right now, and they're going to be the hottest team, going into next year as well. And I don't see how the Browns can compete with the Ravens, the Steelers. And, we got to just see, obviously what happens in the offseason. But I think the biggest question is going to be Baker Mayfield and where he lands. So, it's going to be a lot of opportunity for a lot of quarterbacks. And, we're going to just see what happens. Case Keenum, he's the backup. But Case Keenum is a guy that, he's obviously not their guy to, take them to the promised land either. So, it's going to be really, really challenging for the Browns. I think that curse is back. I think the Cleveland curse is back. And, it's going to be a lot of big question marks. It's so much to unpack here, because, the Browns went from being a playoff team to becoming a team that's going to finish off this season 7-10. And, I guess I just want to hear your guys' opinion, Cleveland Brown fans. Tell me what needs to be changed this offseason. Baker Mayfield, who can replace him, or do you still believe in Baker Mayfield for some of you guys? Drop a comment below. I definitely want to hear your opinion on Baker Mayfield. For them to be a playoff team last year to this year to not even make the playoffs and be a fourth seed, and look at Joe Burrow. This guy's already on the come up, and he's already surpassed Baker Mayfield. That should be another, red flag for the Browns team, because, Baker Mayfield, he's not even the best player. He's not even the best quarterback in his division. And even with Ben Roethlisberger, I would say with Big Ben, I'm not going to pull up his stats, but at least with Big Ben, he played with heart this season. You know what I'm saying? It's just looking, a lot of question marks for the Browns and them moving forward. But with that being said, guys, I don't want to make this video too long. Drop a comment below, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out, guys.